Welcome to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. You can send questions for each show on Twitter using the hashtag IndieBeacon. Now sit back and enjoy learning about our guest for this show.
Welcome, everyone, to our radio show today. This is your host, Denise Bryson, and we encourage everyone in Texas to drop everything and read. Today, I am excited to be interviewing Addison Brae, the author of Becker Circle. How are you doing today, Addison?
I am amazingly fantastic. Thanks, Denise. I'm so happy to be talking to you.
I know. I was so excited. I get so excited to do these interviews. So I'm always excited about meeting another author and just hearing about their book and the genre in which they write and all of that and how you came about it and all of those things. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure, absolutely. So by day, I pay the bills by being a marketing and PR consultant. So I have corporate clients, and I have been doing that for 18 years now, and I feel amazingly blessed. It's very busy. And there are a lot of people who are interested in doing videos these days. And so I've been writing a lot of video scripts, and it's my experience writing novels has helped me be a better storyteller in writing their videos. So it's all goes hand in hand.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So how long, and you said you've been doing the marketing job for 18 years?
On my own for 18 years. Before that.
Oh, my God, that's awesome. You're an independent marketing yes. consultant. That is awesome. And like you said, so blessed just to keep the clients keep coming and things keep going. And so that's such a blessing, especially in today, you know, how things are kind of up and down, but that's such a blessing. So now what else can you tell us about yourself? Where are you from and all of these things, and what inspired you to become a writer?
So I grew up in a town in East Texas called Longview. It's near Tyler, between Dallas and Shreveport, for those of you who don't know the smaller towns. And what inspired me to be a writer was when I was living in Dallas at the time, and I had taken a sabbatical from work just because I was exhausted. And whenever I take downtime, I tend to tidy up things. I clean out closets and, do things like that you never have time to do when you're working. So I literally, all the stuff that I've been lugging around with me all the years and all the moves, I opened boxes and cleaned things out. And in the process, I found a diary that I wrote when I was living in England as a teenager. And I opened the diary and I'm like, dang, this is kind of good. And then it sparked the idea for my first manuscript that I still someday hope that I can revise and publish that manuscript. Not quite good enough yet. And so for that one, though, I didn't tell anybody that I was writing a novel until I got 30,000 words in. And that's when I realized that I could really do it. Oh, wow.
Awesome. Wow, that is really good. And so that and just the thing that the fact that you said, well, let me just wait and see how far I can get on it, and then I'll announce that I'm writing a book. That is really good. So what took you from a marketing consultant to novelist? What took you from? I mean, you're still a marketing consultant, but what took you on another journey to kind of go into to be a novelist? What do you feel like really took you there? I know you said you found the manuscript, and so, but what else is the driving force as well?
What I really love about it is, all day I write and I create things for clients, and they tell me what topic to write about or to create, and then they have to approve it. So I'm always doing what they want to do. But when I write a novel, it just gives me that freedom to create. So that's what I really love about that. And no one else is in charge but me until my editor gets hold of it, of course.
Of course. That is so awesome. It is the freedom to write what you want. Now, let me ask this question. Give us a synopsis of Becker Circle. Because this is your novel that you wrote, and so could you give us a synopsis of it? I kind of read something, but I want you to tell it.
Sure. And Becker Circle is the premise of it is all about creating your fresh start. So the main character is named Jillian, and this young woman, she worked her tush off to graduate Harvard early and leave her abusive boyfriend behind for a fresh start in Dallas. She had a great CPA job to come to, but it just wasn't enough to. And she really wanted to prove to herself that she could make it on her own after getting out of such a bad relationship. So she ends up getting a second job at night and bartending in her neighborhood pub. And it sounded great at first, but when she starts working, it's just drama central. And every jerk hits on her. She's the new girl, and so she makes a lot of stupid mistakes, and learns from them. But a week into her job, one of the most popular guys in the neighborhood, who happens to be the neighborhood's drug dealer, falls from his penthouse balcony right above the pub, and it happened right in front of Jillian. And so the police said it was suicide. There was a suicide note, and it all looked like suicide. But in Jillian's gut, and then every clue that kept falling in her lap, living in that area, and bartenders hear everything. And just made her believe that he was murdered. So she and John, who of course is the amazingly adorable guitar player in a local band, get pulled into this seedy drug world to try to find justice for this guy who she believed was murdered.
Oh, wow. Now, how much, because now what inspired Becker Circle? What inspired you to write that?
Funny you should ask. I had just gotten out of a really bad marriage, and I was not 21 years old like Jillian, but I moved into an apartment community. And those of you who have been around large cities that see those urban apartment communities that are retail, office, there's bars and restaurants, and so anyway, I moved into an apartment community like that. And a lot of us were in different stages of fresh starts. And I met so many really smart, successful, but flawed people. And it made me realize that no matter the situation, the age, where you came from, fresh starts are all so similar. We all experiment, we screw up, and then every mistake we make takes us to where we're supposed to be. And that's exactly what happened it's kind of what happened to me, and it's exactly what happened to Jillian when she moved to Becker Circle.
That's what I was wondering how much of this story was somewhat kind of autobiographical. Kind of an autobiography, but not really one. But some of your story is in it too, because you're so right about fresh starts. It seems like everybody at some point in their life has a fresh start. I feel like that's where I'm in the middle of right now, is a fresh start. And so it's really, it can be refreshing, it can be frustrating, but it also can be refreshing. So is that one of the things that you want your audience to get to understand about this book is how to go through, how to start fresh, actually. And then also something else you said when you said she was in a very abusive relationship, how to walk out of it.
Right. The book doesn't spend a whole lot of time with that abusive relationship, but it does delve into what that does to a young woman. And how in this particular one was like, okay, stop. I'm never going to let that happen again. No matter what happens, I'm in control of this. And, she does make a few mistakes, and she's like, nope, I'm not doing it. And exactly. So, yeah, I wouldn't say that the novel's autobiographical, but I have known so many people in my life who have been victims of domestic abuse. And it's a huge issue, and whether it's emotional or physical, and whether it was from their childhood or from a spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend even, there's so many options. And, to me, the the thing to remember is there's always a way out, and you're the only one who can do it.
And that's exactly right. You're the only one that can make that decision, and then, and find the safest way out is what you can do. But we're so glad. I'm so excited to interview you and talk about this book. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a break so we can hear from some of our wonderful sponsors, and then we will be right back with Addison Brae, the author of Becker's Circle.
Howdy, I'm John Cruder, the Midnight Marauder. I guess you might say that I'm a vigilante who rights the wrongs I see along my many travels to balance the scales of justice, especially those of the corrupt and murderous members of the Town Council of Bandera, Texas. You can follow my many adventures in a series of Midnight Marauder books written by Roy Clinton on Amazon.com and TopWesterns.com. Or, if you prefer, listen to my adventures in audiobook form by downloading them from Audible.com or iTunes. This is R. William James, the voice of the Midnight Marauder.
Do you love to read great new ebooks? Visit EBG247.com. Be the first to discover the next bestseller. At EBG247, we have the web's largest selection of great new book reads, from that amazing new fiction or nonfiction to horror, romance, and fantasy. We even have today's best children's books. That's EBG247.com. New books arrive daily, and all ebooks start at just 99 cents. If you love to read, then you'll love EBG247.com. Low prices, large selection, and an easy-to-use website. It's all only at EBG247.com.
Headlines. Cryptocurrency vultures are circling around failing governments. Darknet predators are rushing to market with their newest digital product. They promise economic salvation, even as they coupon clips straight from your digital wallet. The newest techno-thriller installment from Brakefield and Berkey, The Enigma Source. Book 10 of the Enigma series continues the combat of cyber good guys versus cyber thugs set in today's digital landscape. A new online bookstore, IndieLector.store, is unlike any other. IndieLector.store offers great prices from top indie authors and supports authors at the same time by paying them more for their books. IndieLector.store has a readers club that gives you free books and special deals. Watch the IndieLector.store continue to grow before it opens in the fall of 2019 at IndieLector.store. Hello, Texas authors. My name is Randy James, coming to you from my Carrollton recording studio, where I spend time writing and producing commercials for my radio endorsement clients, as well as my private freelance clients. I'd like the opportunity to help you sell more books with a commercial like this and get listeners of Dear Texas Radio excited about your title, all at a special introductory price, available to members of the Texas Association of Authors. Call or text 214-762-1942. That's 214-762-1942. Welcome to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. You can send questions for each show on Twitter using the hashtag IndieBeacon. Now sit back and enjoy learning about our guest for this show.
Hello, welcome back to our show, where we have been interviewing Addison Brae, the author of Becker's Circle. Now, Addison, when I looked at your trailer, I thought, oh, wow, this is really awesome. And I just wanted to ask a question, because it did kind of prepare you for what the big screen, what it would look like on the big screen. But what actress would you want to play? The lead role?
Oh, wow. Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm going to age myself because I would need an actress that's about 21. I just saw a movie and I thought, oh man, she would be perfect in that. Oh, it was, I'm going to post it on my website because I can't remember. It was a movie about where this, it's all in a fantasy, it's dystopian, and they all live in this video game. And I can't remember her name, but I'll post it to my website. I can't
remember her name either.
So
Anyway, but she would be perfect for the role.
Yeah, she would. Yeah, absolutely she would. Or the other option is the young woman who played Jillian in my trailer is a local Dallas actress, and she is amazing. So she actually would be a great one as well.
Oh, wow. That's good. Now, what about, in the book there's some really colorful patrons in Becker's Circle. So are the characters inspired by real people or just people that you kind of made up, or how does that come out?
So every person in the book is purely fiction. However, some of the characters are inspired by kind of mashups of people that I know. Some are based on stories that people have told me. Some are, inspired by. There's one in particular that I still get tickled over, and that's inspired by a real person. There's a character that, and I hope I'm allowed to say this on the interview, but her nickname is Whistle Bitch. And she was a real bartender that we met. We were on vacation in Seattle. And we met at this all-night bar diner that's near the Space Needle. And she whistled while she worked, and she whistled beautifully. And her coworkers gave her that name. And so that was a few years ago, and it stuck with me. And I'm like, I'm naming a character the same name because it was just so fun. And she whistled all these songs in the book, and so, yeah.
Oh, wow. Now, what about Creepy and Coke and Baka Veronica and King Joey Jagger and Cranberry Karen? Tell us about these nicknames.
So those are actually nicknames that Jillian uses to remember her regulars and what they order, because every good bartender knows what their regular patrons order. So, Veronica ordered vodka, and Joey ordered Jaeger and Coke, I think, and Karen ordered her cranberry, vodka cranberry. Creepy and Coke was one of the mysterious villains in the book, so you have to read about that to understand that one. But so Jillian was an accountant by trade, very analytical. So this was a technique she used in college as well. She would visualize things to remember accounting principles. So she did the same thing as a bartender.
Yeah, and I can relate to that because I'm an accountant, and I visualize. You visualize things. You do. You really do.
There's a couple of parts in the book that you will absolutely love because of the accounting part of it. I hope you get to read it if you haven't yet.
No, I'll have to get through. I haven't read the whole thing, but I will have to read it because that's going to be fun. Now, Jillian, your main character, gets herself into some dangerous situations, especially when you're trying to figure out if a drug dealer was murdered or not, so you have to kind of dive into that world. So what was she thinking when she done that? Did she not realize, what kind of trouble that could possibly get her and John?
I've gotten different reactions from different people as they read it. If you remember when you were 21, or if you know people who are 21, you take chances. And a lot of it is from being naive. A lot of it is from being, I'm invincible. That could never happen to me. But, it all goes back to wanting to prove that she has the courage to do something really important, to make it on her own. She had a history of, her ex-boyfriend. She had professors. Her dad thought that she was just weak, and that she would never really amount to much, never really had the guts to tackle something that was really life-changing. And so, kind of forget all them. She wanted to prove it to herself that she could do it, and she felt like no matter what the person's profession was, people deserve justice. Yeah. So that's why she did it.
Exactly. And I'm glad that she did go on to try to prove herself because, a lot of people think accountants are these left-brain people and they're just these little, bookie-worming people. And I'm not like that at all. So I can imagine Jillian has got a big personality like me, really, and she's uncovering that as she goes. That's what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Jillian's probably like you. Jillian's a badass.
What kind of reader will enjoy Becker's Circle?
As I mentioned, Jillian, the main character, is 21. But truthfully, anyone who's had a second chance in life or a third or a sixth or however many, I think can really relate to what she goes through. And, feeling her way through becoming stronger and more confident. That's, to me, that doesn't change whether you're 21 or 35 or 75. It's all the same, especially for women.
I think that's exactly right. Yeah, especially for women. When you make a fresh start, you make a fresh start, and no matter what age it is, it's still somewhat the same type of journey. It might not be the same type of fresh start, but it's still a fresh start, and you're on a journey. That's the truth. That is the truth. Okay, so now how do you how did you do any research for the book, or did you, a lot of authors say the characters begin to talk. So was Jillian one of these characters that began to talk to you?
Oh yes, she did. But truthfully, on this one, in every writer has a different style, but the way I can get into my characters is to dive into their world. So, since so much of this story takes place around the bar scene, I wrote a lot of that book sitting at bars around the United States. When I travel, I'd have my laptop. I'd sit at the bar at airports. And when traveling on business, I'd go visit different places. And talking to bartenders and patrons, so inspiring. Everybody has a story to tell. Everybody, has experiences, and so much of that you'll see in the book.
Mhm.
So that's the way no matter what kind of book I'm writing, I just dive into that world.
Well, that's good. Now you're going to be at the McKinney Square Book Fest in a few weeks. Tell us what you enjoy about book festivals.
My favorite thing about book festivals is just getting to connect with readers, getting to see their faces. We have social media, but it's so impersonal, and it's such a great place to connect with readers, with other authors. And people who are passionate about books completely inspire me. And something happened at my very first book festival. This lovely woman, and as soon as they opened the doors, and you kind of had to be there to picture this, but she literally made a beeline to me. And this was my very first book festival, the very first moment. And she told me, as soon as she found me, she's like, I just read your book and I loved it. And it was like, I was just sitting there in awe. And that's a memory that I'll keep with me forever. And she was such a lovely woman. And we chatted for a little bit. And she's actually going to give me a little bit of feedback for my possible sequel to this book, because she's a lawyer. She's a lawyer and has some knowledge that could be very valuable in making sure this next book is authentic.
Wow. Okay. Now, what is next?
Well, there is a little bit of an idea of creating some more adventures for Jillian in Becker Circle, which is what I talked to the woman about at the book festival. And then I've talked about my day job. I work with a lot of technology companies, and so I'm working a lot, writing a lot, doing videos about artificial intelligence. And that has started this really fascinating romantic suspense idea brewing in my head. So I'm not going to promise anything, but either one of both of those you will see in 2019. Okay, we're looking forward to it. Now tell us all about, where we can reach you and where people can learn more about you and all of those things as we're beginning to wind down. Sure. Absolutely. And Becker Circle is available on all the major online retailers. And you can also go to my website. You'll find the link to the trailer that you mentioned, Denise. And I also have a blog. I have some really entertaining topics, and I also have some fun cocktail recipes on it. My website is addisonbrae.com. That's AddisonBrae.com. So you can find me there. And please, I know they said at the beginning of the broadcast to ask questions via Twitter. And ask questions. I'll answer anything. Well, almost anything. Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Brae. I mean, Addison Brae has such a pretty last name. It sounds like would be a pretty first name. But anyway, thank you so much, Addison. I have really enjoyed interviewing you today, and I hope that you had some fun as well. And thank you for agreeing to do this interview with us and telling us all about yourself and telling us all about Becker's Circle and your sequel that possibly is coming in your other book and the manuscript that you found. We're just so excited to hear. We'll be excited to hear more and more from you. And just thank you so much for all of that. And I just want to say that your readers can discover your work on all the areas. You're on social media, you're on Twitter, you're on Facebook and all that, so they can find you on those places as well as your website. And then your book is ebook on Amazon, and then I saw you're on Goodreads, and you're on Texas Authors, and so there's so many places that you can be found. But thank you so much for taking the time to interview with us and tell us all about yourself. And we look forward to hearing and about your new books coming out, and of course reading them. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to Indie Beacon Radio, where creative souls can find help in marketing their creations. To learn more about Indie Beacon services, to be a guest on the show, or to advertise on our show, please visit our website at indiebeacon.com.